Okay, so this is feedback for Gem. Now, looking at task 1, where I've asked you to look at 4 different categories of products. I can see that you've done that beautifully presented on your first page. Only negative point that I would say here, okay, is for something like this where you've looked at architecture, and I'm just going to check further on. For architecture, what I'd like to see is, I can see that you've written some comments here, but some images of inspiring products to go along with it. It looks like, a web page at the moment, which is fine. But what I'd like to see then on the adjoining pages is where, okay, if you set it up like this, you've got a couple of red sheets that got clamping on it, where you've got interesting examples of it. Same for your other areas, okay? Now, what you've written is really good, where you've justified why you're thinking about choosing it. But as I said, just a little bit of further analysis of existing products or inspirational things to go along with it as well. Okay, and one final thing, just a note on this, please don't put it all in capitals, okay? Just have it as normal text, so it's just a little bit more clear to read and easier to read for the examiner when they're looking at it, okay? But well set out, good effort. I could tell it was yours straight away. Okay, going on to task number 2. So task 2 is looking at the design movements, where you can pick, I've said 6 to 8 design movements to just analyse briefly. And then going across here, I can see that you've done that. Now, you've left this blank space, I'm presuming, for some sketches of your own. What I'd like to see is just a little bit of development. They can be really small sketches, and then I think it's probably best then to draw one perhaps more detailed thing here. Now, don't be shy, okay? If you don't feel that this is a big enough area, what you can do is do it on an A4 page, fold it, put it into a quarter, and have it fold out. That makes it a lot more visually interesting. But I love the way that you've laid this out. Looks great. Just need some development on here, and again, please don't use caps lock all the way through. It's really hard. Well, it's not really hard, but it's not very pleasing on the eye, okay? Right, you've picked interesting products, but what I'm not seeing at the moment is any sketches. Going on to here now, I can see that you've left space for stuff that I'm presuming that you need to print off, but it's not present, and I did ask that it be present by the time that you've handed in, okay? So there is, quite a lot of work missing on these pages. I appreciate that in lessons we've been working on the concrete product, but out of lessons you really need to be spending more time on it, okay? So go into the next task on Google Classroom. You should have explored 6 to 8 design movements, then narrowing down on 2 to 3. Okay, so I see in your booklet, in your sketchbook, sorry, that you've got some evidence, but this is missing where you explore 2 to 3 in a little bit more detail. Going on to the next task, task 4 in your sketchbook, I would like to see an analysis of a different concrete product. Now you've got that plenty again. What I don't see, now I appreciate this is all of your own written work, what I don't see is any sketches of development. What I would like to see from this is maybe some observational sketch work, either of this or mixing the two together, a little bit more like that. Now I know that you've done some sketches with regards to this, perhaps it's a little bit later on in your sketchbook. Okay, so a lot of these green post-it notes, I'm sure that you will act on them. I just like to see them acted on sooner rather than later. Good that you've got development of your product here. So I've made like 1 or 2 little notes here in lessons with you. You've got your green notes again. Really, at the stage when I'm expecting a hand in, I'd like to see this complete. It seems at the moment that you're possibly falling behind a little. You don't have many or much work after this stage, so there's a lot to be printed out possibly, but as this was a submission and I gave you over the weekend to do it, really you need to put a bit more time into it and take the deadlines a little bit more seriously. Please don't rest on your laurels, the fact that you got a really good grade last year. You want to build on that. I can see early on, you're building on it in terms of presentation, looks beautiful. What I'm not seeing here is your sketch work, okay? So please make sure that you get all of the tasks completed by the next time I take your sketchbooks in. Okay, thank you.